Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. One of the most hyped fragrances of all time, easily, is this right here. What's inside this little dinky bottle? La Nuit de l'Homme. But this isn't just any La Nuit de l'Homme. This is the original formulation. Because of course you can still find La Nuit everywhere, anywhere. You can find it in Macy's, Sephora, Ulta, every single discounter known to man, and it's not crazy expensive or anything. But that's this new version, the current formulation. What about the OG formulation? Well, that one, a bit harder to find. You can pick it up on eBay for between $450 and $500 for an open bottle. As of this video, somebody has a still sealed vintage formulation that they're selling for over $1,000 if you just have money to blow, I guess. But the original formulation is crazy expensive. Even some of the other vintage formulations from like circa 2016 command a heavy premium. Why is that? Well, the original La Nuit de l'Homme was stronger, more robust, more powerful, fuller, higher quality smelling than the current formulation. Not that the current one is bad, it's just the original was that good. But the only people nowadays who can buy that are people who are either rich or have a spending problem. Enter La Nuit 2011 from Montaigne Parfum. The question is though, is it as good or even close to the original? And if it's not, is it even as good as what you can find for whatever, 60 bucks online at every discounter known to man? While we're talking prices, this one is 45 bucks. That is the full retail price at Montaigne's website, which is where I got this one, along with Eden, which this one is Initio's Rehab. Maybe I'll talk about this in another video, but I really want to concentrate on this right here today. I'll also do a giveaway as well, just for the heck of it. A couple that I bought last year. But yeah, getting back into the correct headspace here, La Nuit 2011. The name tells you exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to capture that first formulation of La Nuit de l'Homme, which again, goes for insane money and give you an alternative to that. And one of the reasons I was so hyped about this is because this is right up my alley. This is what I love about clone fragrances. It's really the main thing that I love about clone fragrances, when they take discontinued stuff and they bring it back. There have been more of those starting to pop out. It's still not with great frequency, but you know, there have been some more of those coming down the pipeline, and anytime I see it, I get really hyped. And technically, La Nuit de l'Homme is not discontinued, to be fair. Like I said, you can still find this really easily. The original formulation, yeah, like over a decade has been gone since that's been available. So let's go ahead and take a real quick look at the presentation of this one, and then we can move into the contrasting and comparing stage between this, and this. First, the box. So all of the Montaigne Parfums releases have the same box, same bottle, at least in terms of how the style comes across. So pretty much anything that you buy from there, you know, it's gonna come to you looking the same. So you have here on the front, name of the house, name of the fragrance. You have a few of the notes there: bergamot, lavender, cardamom, cedarwood, eau de parfum concentration, 50 ml size. You have the ingredients here on the sticker as it wraps around the box, which you just cut right there to open up. Pretty much it as far as the box goes. Just open like so. There's a little tissue paper in there. That's where your bottle sits. And then here's the bottle. It's a stock bottle with this little label slapped on the front. You have the name of the fragrance, name of the house, a few of the notes, handcrafted in NYC, size and concentration once more. Cap slides snugly into place, so you can pick these up by the cap pretty easily, as you can see right there. And let's go ahead and do a couple sprays. Check this out. There we go, pretty good. And let's go ahead and spray these as well. So we'll spray current version, or at least close enough to it. I've got like 2 or 3 bottles of La Nuit de l'Homme, and I really don't want to spray this, but we will anyway. There we go. Ooh. It's like $10. Just set it on fire, essentially. So La Nuit de l'Homme originally launched in 2009. Technically not 2011, but heck with it, 2011 is close enough to 2009. Original formulation and whatnot. You gotta get the early formulations, bro. It's just the way it is. That way you can stunt on people and flex on them. Like, oh, you're enjoying your Aventus circa 2024?
Pathetic.
Not me. I've got one of the original batches. I could sell it and buy a brand new Mazda Miata. but instead I wear it every day. Note breakdown wise, La Nuit de l'Homme is pretty simple. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on there, especially for a fragrance released in the late 2000s, when you were much more likely to find fragrances with exorbitantly huge note breakdowns. And that note breakdown is pretty much the same as what you're gonna find with La Nuit 2011. It has cardamom, bergamot off the top, lavender in the mid, cedar and vetiver in the base. And depending on where you look for La Nuit de l'Homme, you may also see tonka or pepper or something else like that in the note breakdown as well. But that gives you a rough idea of how it's constructed in terms of that breakdown. So the first question here, how does La Nuit 2011 stack up against La Nuit de l'Homme current iteration? Well, the first thing that you'll notice is that La Nuit 2011 is indeed way freaking stronger than La Nuit de l'Homme. It projects much heavier, especially off the top. It is much more pronounced, it lingers longer, the projection, the longevity, everything is ramped up in La Nuit 2011, which is probably not a big surprise when you take a look just at that coloration and compare it to, you know, some of the other Montaigne releases. It is one of the danker of the bunch, or darker, danker, same thing. It's also richer, it's fuller, there's more body to La Nuit 2011. And when you smell them side by side, whether on skin, strips, whatever, this one, the current version of La Nuit de l'Homme, does come across almost watered down. And I hate saying that because it's just such like a throwaway term. La Nuit de l'Homme, the current formulation, does get more hate than is warranted sometimes, because it's still an absolutely fantastic scent. Really easy to wear, big compliment puller. Yes, the performance is not huge, but that's fine. You know, you can spray a little more on, or you can use it as a fragrance that's a little bit more alluring. You know, that type of scent where people catch a whiff and they're like, what is that? Which is kind of like the one eau de parfum. You know, that's the whole deal with that one as well, or the one eau de toilette. But yeah, side by side, it does smell a little bit diluted, you could say. Now, one thing that I do pick up much more prominently in La Nuit 2011 is the aromatics. So there is much more of an aromatic scent profile to it. When you smell it right up close, it has more of that green aspect that comes through. It still has a good pop of cardamom, you know, that little bit of sweetness, freshness that imparts before it dries down and starts to warm up a little bit. But there's more of like almost a leafiness to La Nuit 2011 that you don't get in La Nuit de l'Homme. And it definitely has more of that original La Nuit de l'Homme aspect to it. So it has more of a punchy cardamom. It has more of a woodiness that comes out, which you really lose a lot of that in the current iteration of La Nuit de l'Homme. And even sometimes when you smell La Nuit 2011, it's like the way the sweetness works as it dries down, it's got like a faint boozy aspect almost, which is in the background of the scent. And it doesn't come across like a really prominent kind of booziness, but just the way the sweetness hits, you know, you get like a little aspect of that sweetness, that warmth, the way that it pops. Now, in comparison to the original La Nuit de l'Homme, how does it stack up? Even though this bottle of the original has been sitting here for years and years and years, it does have still more push than current La Nuit. So if you smell them side by side, this one easily the weakest of the three. But if we're talking just overall performance between these three, well, I guess this is the weakest, this is the strongest. La Nuit 2011 has more projection. It pushes more. It lasts a long time on the skin. It lingers for a long time on the skin. Now, you could probably get this one to last just as long. You just have to do maybe a couple extra sprays. Issue with that, with how expensive it is, I don't really want to do even one spray. I kind of just want to keep it, you know? It becomes one of those fragrances that it's like, yes, I own it. And it's like, well, do you wear it? And you go, nah, because it's gonna be a pain to replace. Unfortunately, kind of the same thing with like Gucci Envy back here, Gucci Pour Homme 2. Love the fragrances, and I wear them sometimes. But if they were easier to find and less expensive, I would wear them more. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, right? You know, you can wear them, sure, you could wear that whole bottle. But then when it comes time to replace it, you can't just go to Macy's and pick up a new one. So yeah, this does smell amazing. The original formulation, fantastic, really good. But truthfully, I have not sprayed this bottle up until I started comparing it with this one for years. It was just sitting there. And that is the sometimes drawback of collecting discontinued fragrances, the really expensive ones. You're like, anyway, back to the comparison. Between the two, La Nuit 2011 is greener. Like I said, it's greener than this version of La Nuit. It's also greener than this version. The original formulation of La Nuit does have a great smoothness to it. Really rich, well-defined, smooth, sweet, sexy. It's denser than the current version of La Nuit, which you can kind of tell just by looking at the coloration. Hopefully this comes through here, but this is noticeably deeper, more ambery colored than current La Nuit. It's got my head poking in right here. Sorry about that. I don't mean to give you nightmares getting that close to you. Ah, his face is hideous. And so while I would say La Nuit 2011, definitely more punch, more push, better longevity. La Nuit original formulation, a bit smoother. Now that being said, I haven't like aged this or anything. I haven't let it do it sitting around. It's maturing. It's macerating, as we all love to say. It hasn't done that. I've only had it for about a week. And it's not that it isn't smooth. It's just with that extra push, that pop that it has, it does hit your nose in a way that's like, oof, a little more aggressive, right? Comparatively speaking. Now, as this dries, it does have a really nice warm sweetness. That cardamom smells very well done. Touch of classiness from the lavender, just like the original La Nuit here. More of a woody aspect as it dries down as well. Between the current formulation and the original formulation, La Nuit 2011 is absolutely closer to the original formulation. And frankly, it blows away this version right here. If you're looking for something that is gonna get you noticed a little bit more while still having that La Nuit scent profile. The La Nuit alone was facing towards me. You can't have that. Yeah. And so for 45 bucks, this does a crazy job of getting you how La Nuit alone used to come across. Maybe not quite as smooth, but still with the same scent profile, the same body of the fragrance, with great performance for this scent, because if anybody knows La Nuit, the expectation is it's gonna be piddly. You're gonna spray it on and it's gone. You don't have that issue here. So it gives you that ramped up performance. It'll last through the day, or it'll last through the evening. It'll get you noticed. It'll get you those compliments. Whereas this version of La Nuit, people may say, it smells so good, but then it just doesn't project, or I have to spray on really heavily, which if you're looking for it to project, that's what you should be doing with this version. And again, this is not to denigrate La Nuit as it is today. It's still a good fragrance. It's just for those people who want more of what it used to be. This will scratch that itch for you. And I did have Suave by Parfums Vintage, which is also a La Nuit like original style fragrance, or clone of the original style, I should have said. La Nuit original style fragrance. So what does that even mean? And that one is also solid at 73 bucks for the 50 mil. Between the two, I would go with this one. It's almost $30 less. The performance is no worse. The quality, absolutely no worse. And I think just overall, this is the better buy. So that's La Nuit 2011. Just boiled down very simplistically, outperforms La Nuit alone, whether we're talking OG or current. A little more emphasis on the green aspect of the fragrance, like a slight aromatic leafiness that you're not gonna find as much in the other versions of La Nuit. Still has that really sexy cardamom, extremely well done, has more of a woodsiness as it dries down, and has a little bit more of a poppy nature when you spray it on, a little bit more of like a zinginess to your nose, whereas the old school La Nuit does have really nice, defined, smooth sweetness. And with how well Montaigne nailed this one, La Nuit 2011, I would really like them to do maybe some discontinued releases. So if anybody at Montaigne watches this and they're thinking about that, maybe you should do that. Maybe just like some of the bigger discontinued ones or something, I don't know. All right, let's do the giveaway. So I've got two Montaigne ones, done videos on these back when I bought them. I think these were last year. So it's Elysian Cologne and Bucco Intense. So Elysian Cologne, this is Elysium from Rosa Parfum, and Bucco Intense is Virgin Island water. Figured since we're heading into summer, you know, it would make a good match for somebody out there. You got the notes on the front here, Bucco Intense, coconut, lime, sugar cane, and rum. And then this one, grapefruit, vetiver, and musks. So with the giveaway, all you have to do is like the video, be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment down below. And for this one, comment a discontinued fragrance that you would like to see Montaigne or anybody make a clone of, you know, bring it back from the dead. And if you can't think of a good discontinued one, you know, just throw whatever fragrance you think you'd like to see done. But really try to think discontinued, because that's my thing. I love that stuff. So there we go. With this one, the winner will be announced like midway through the following month, with the winners of whatever other ones were done for this month. trying to get like a system going here. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me today. Shout out Montana. This stuff is really good. Again, do some discontinued stuff. Somebody there watch this, or send it to somebody there. Do something. Somebody. I'll just drop an email to them. Yeah, I mean, that stuff just really pumps out compared to these. But this is still so good. $450 good? I don't know about that, but you know, what are you gonna do? Supply and demand. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.